When the world learned that Josh had accost 5 young girls, 4 of whom were his sisters, even the harshest Duggar critics were shocked. After all, many suspected that some unscrupulous things were taking place behind the scenes of 19 kids and counting, but few imagined anything quite so horrible. When Josh was arrested on CP charges, the shock was not quite as severe. By this time, even fans of the family had come to accept that the Duggars were not nearly as wholesome as they'd made themselves appear on TV. These days, Duggar critics are re-examining old scenes from the family's earliest days on TLC in search of any indication of the horrors that Jim Bob and company were keeping under wraps. They've discovered that when viewed through the lens of hindsight, moments that seemed innocent or at least innocuous now appear much more sinister. The latest example of this phenomenon is the scene in which Anna Duggar boasts about Josh getting picked up by the cops. At the time, no one thought much of it. Josh got a ride from a police officer, Anna said to viewers, explaining that Josh's car had broken down. Josh's brush with the law was overshadowed by a scene in the same episode in which Anna learned that she was pregnant. But these days, rewatchers are much more interested in this early encounter between Josh and the long arm of the law. "That won't be the only time, sis," one Reddit commenter wrote, according to UK tabloid The Sun. "Who, over the age of 9, is going to brag about riding with a police officer?" another asked. One person noted that the scene seemed to be foreshadowing Josh's future, and another chimed in, "Big yikes." Others took issue with Anna's apparent glee at having married into the Duggar family. "Why does she look so smug? Sis, you were sold to the devil. Why the hell do you think you're better than anyone?" one Redditor wrote. "No shame," another added. "It's cute how white people see attention from police officers as something wholesome and worth bragging about," yet another chimed in. This is far from the first 19 kids footage that's been re-evaluated in recent weeks. In one early scene, fans were shocked to see Josh sexually harassing Anna during a birthing class. In another, we see Josh having a sexually charged conversation with cousin Amy ahead of his wedding day. This reappraisal comes as the world prepares for Josh's sentencing hearing, which is currently scheduled for April 5th. Josh's lawyers are currently lobbying to have the hearing postponed, arguing that they have been unable to meet with their client due to COVID precautions. Because of certain reasonable COVID-19 precautions understandably instituted at the jail at which Duggar is being detained, it has been more difficult scheduling meetings with Duggar than during more ordinary times, reads one recent filing. The legal team says they've encountered delays in scheduling certain attorney-client privileged meetings by video conference with Duggar, add that they would benefit from a continuance to provide additional time to pursue additional information and documentation. It might be a while before a judge is able to hand down his sentence to Josh. But clearly, the court of public opinion has already given out a much-deserved life sentence.